purpose of this video is to provide some recommendations and some instruction on how to add resources to your NISD Math Support Schoology course. So the first thing I want to demonstrate is how to add students to a high school math Schoology course. So in your courses, go to your courses and find your course. They'll be right here under the NISD Math Support and click on your high school. Then you'll come here to members. And this is where you can add students and other admin. So I'm going to add some students here. I'm going to search for my student, Nicole. And Rosa. Once I've selected all of the students, and here I can see the number of students I've selected at once, and I can click and say add members. And now those students can see anything published in this course. Anyone who is an admin can see anything published or unpublished in this course. So now I'm going to go back to materials. And I've already set up some folders for the first 5 lessons. It might be a good idea to set up a few days in advance. That way you can just click publish on the day of that lesson. So one recommendation we are making is that you not assign students to a specific lesson or to a specific overall folder, as that can be cumbersome as students move around and time consuming to move students in and out of folders with teachers or rooms. If you have multiple rooms for tutoring, to have all students entered in the same course and then all students working on the same lesson for each day. So the first lesson I'm going to open, and it is currently blank because I'm going to add some materials and I'm going to use our outline here. So the notes here is a Google Slides that you would write on, or you could print out for students, but I do have a Desmos activity here. And if I click on it and open, I get this activity here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to assign this activity. Oh, it's going to ask me to sign in first. Sign in. All things here you can sign in with Google, fast and easy, especially if you're already signed into your portal. Then I can click on the assign here, and I'm going to assign a single session code. So I'm going to assign this for, you can assign this for 48 hours, 2 weeks, or 1 year. I'm going to go ahead and assign this for 2 weeks because I may be setting this up ahead of time for teachers to use or my team to use. Okay. So now I'm going to go to the 3 dots to get the student link here. And this link here is what we're going to put in Schoology for students to click on. That way they don't have to type in any code. It's one click, super easy for students to access. So here in materials, I'm going to click on the add materials, and I'm going to come down and say add a link. And here on the link, we're just going to paste in that code that we copied. And I can title this something like the name of this activity. So this activity's name was Desmos solving equations. So I'm going to say solving equations. Desmos practice. Then right down here, if you click on the button here with that ABC so that it says display in a new window, that way it pops out to a new window for students. And when you click add, and it says unpublished because I have not published this folder yet. I'll demonstrate publishing that in just a moment. When students click on this, it will automatically open the tab and take them here where they can sign in with Google. If it's giving them trouble, they can continue without signing in and just have them sign in with their name, their first and last name, maybe their student ID, whatever is going to be most convenient for you and your team. But the best thing for students to do is sign in with Google. Okay. So another thing we have here is a Schoology assessment, and most lessons do have at least one Schoology assessment. how you access these, because they are in our high school math Schoology group for us to share with you. You're going to click on this link and you're going to look for that title. This one is solving equations. I'm going to click on this link.
We're going to find the solving equations. Come and click on the gear and choose add to course. From here, all of your courses will appear. Choose the course from the NISD Math Support with your high school name, and choose the folder. Here I'm going to put this in lesson 2. You have to choose a category and click add. Now in your courses, under lesson 2, I can check to see that that assessment was copied.
There are a few other activity types that might have slightly different ways of assigning in Schoology, and I want to review just a few of those. So one is Blooket. So there is a Blooket activity on lesson 11. So if you click on the link to the Blooket, and all the directions are here as well, and depending on how you want to assign this to students, if you want them to play against each other, and that's going to set the same code for all students in that section that day, or you can select the homework option and students are going to compete independently. So that's the mode that I will demonstrate. So I'm going to click on Blooket. It's going to take me to that Blooket activity. I'm going to click on Host. You've got some different modes here, and they all have their own merits. I'm going to click on the I think the Crazy Kingdom one was a favorite, and then click on Assign Homework. So then you'll click Assign Now, and this link here, you click to copy, get copied, and now we can assign that. I'm just going to put that in lesson 2 as an example. Add materials. This one is also a link. Add that link and paste that link in. So I'm just going to right click and say paste. You can use that keyboard shortcut Control V as well. And the title here is Blooket for linear transformation. So I can say linear transformations Blooket practice. And again, it might be easiest for students if you click that display in a new window tab, it will pop it out into a new tab for students. That way everything's a little bigger for them. Once you click add, then this is what students will see when they click on it. It will open in a new tab for them. They enter a nickname and get to play. So another example of an activity type is assigning from the Google Drive. So an example of this type of activity, in lesson 20, there's a pixel art activity. If you click on that link, it will copy. It's going to force a copy. And this is the systems of linear equations. And this particular Google Drive activity is a pixel art. So students are going to fill in the answers here in these yellow boxes, and it's going to populate an image for them as they get the right answer. So once you've made a copy, now it is in your drive, you can rename this so that it says something different. Instead of copy of, I'm just going to put my name here, Ronald's _ systems of linear equations. Okay, now it's in my drive. To add this to your Schoology course, you'll come here to add materials. We're going to add an assignment. I'm going to give this a name, systems of linear equations pixel art. You can put a description, some directions here for students, and then this is the fun part, this Google Drive. So once you click on that Google Drive app icon, if this is the last thing that you opened, it's usually here at the top, or you can search if you know the name of the document. Mine's here at the top though, so I'm going to click on that one and say attach. And it lets you know here, this will create a copy of this file for each student. And then of course you change your due date, your categories, and all of those items there. I'm going to say create. And the great thing about assigning from the Google Drive app is when students click on this, it opens an item for them. As the teacher, you can see which students are in progress. And because I have my 2 students here, it lets me know that they have not yet opened the assignment. Once they have opened the assignment, I can see what is on their screen. And then they also have the option to submit. That way they can let you know that they are done. Now, the thing about assigning from the Google Drive app is it does not grade for you. This is something you will have to go in and give and assign a grade to or do a check for. But you can go in and check for understanding, check to see if students are on the right track, that kind of thing. One more item type that you can add from our resources here is Quizizz. And there is a Quizizz on day 19. I'm going to click here on that hyperlink. And if you are signed in, it will open. If you are not signed in, it will prompt you to sign in. I'm going to sign in there with Google. And we do have some directions here once the activity is obtained. So once you click on it and save it, you can click on add assignment, or you can start a live quiz if you want students to play against each other. I'm going to do the assign homework. Come back in here, click on it one more time because then it will copy it now that I'm signed in. I can assign homework here. That's that asynchronous way. That way students can play at their own pace. And you do that by clicking assign. And instead of having them enter a code, you can click right here where it says share a link. And it copies that link to the clipboard for you. That's like that Control-C for you. Or if you want students to play, let me see if I can go back. If you want students to play a live quiz against each other, there's the classic mode or the instructor paced. It's going to put students in groups and they'll have leaderboards and live results, that kind of thing. And you can get the link for that one there. And either way, whichever you choose, of course, you'll come back into your Schoology course, add materials, and you'll add this as a link yet again. So you'll paste that link in here, give it a title. This one's title is Writing Systems of Linear Equations. And again, you may want to click on that display in a new window so that students have a little more space. Some of those graphs can get kind of small in that Schoology window. Or if your students really need everything in one tab, you can leave it in that default setting, that display in Schoology. Click add, and I want to show you what happens if you leave it in that Schoology and students need to pop it out of that window. So this is what the quizzes will look like. It's going to auto-populate my name because I'm already signed in. You click start, and this one's kind of nice because you've got everything on one page. But if you do need to pop that out, if it's too small or students are having some kind of technical difficulties for whatever reason, that little box at that top right corner here, when you click on it, it pops it out into another window for them. Easy peasy, keeps this, they can resume or start over if they were having issues.